Hello and welcome to a hot and sunny Southampton. This is week 2 of the course and Rob and I are here again to give a little bit of feedback on the comments that you've made and make a few suggestions as to how some of us might proceed with the course. Lots of people are still joining the course in their hundreds. It's absolutely remarkable. And I just wanted to say that if you are still working on week 1, that's absolutely fine. Just take the course at your own speed and do whatever you can with the time that you have available to you. Other people clearly have more time and they're racing ahead with week 2 and have finished it already, so congratulations to you. Anyway, just to clear up 1 or 2 little things from last week, there were 1 or 2 questions still about the actual concepts of EMI and CLIL. And it is difficult to distinguish between them. As we say, it's a fuzzy concept. Perhaps you need to try and find where you are on this continuum between EMI and CLIL. And where you are is fine. It's absolutely perfect. Wherever you are, that's your situation. So please adapt whatever we say and whatever the other participants say to your situation. It might be helpful if you think that EMI, it could be FMI, French as a medium of instruction, as in some parts of Canada, existing side by side with EMI, or we could have CMI, couldn't we? Like Chinese as a medium of instruction, and so on. So we might envisage in a world in the future that there are different universities, perhaps quite close together, that have different labels, EMI, FMI, CMI, etc., or departments of universities that could be labelled in this way. And just to touch on the word medium, medium for us in this context means the way, the means to something. It doesn't mean anything in contrast with large. I don't know if the person saying this was trying to make a joke or something. Perhaps I didn't understand. But anyway, I just wanted to clarify that for everybody, that medium here has this sense of being the means, the way. I'd like to hand over to Rob now, who's going to make some comments about language on the course.
Yes.
Over to you, Rob.
Thank you, Mary. Yes, I'd like to mention, so linking to humour, a lot of you focused on how people deliver a lecture. You took some advice that we had on the course, or some areas of discussion about words, structure and things like that. And I'm really delighted that people have taken the discussion beyond a prescriptive good way of lecturing or bad way of lecturing. And again, you've taken this and you've looked at sort of how people would utilise this in communication, how this is a personal relationship, and also how it's contextual. So when you looked at videos of people giving good examples of lectures, some of you looked at the signposting, some of you looked at good phrases that are useful in lecturing, others of you looked at the personal qualities, how people communicate, how people use humour. And indeed, humour came up on the course as one of the things that is very challenging in intercultural communication, because humour is quite context specific. But also I really liked Patrick's comment about, humour can be two-way. It comes from the students as well as coming from the lecturer. And equally, lots of people on the course were discussing how language actually should be negotiated. So you don't really choose one way of talking across everybody you speak to. Actually, you're going to choose language that's appropriate for your audience. And again, Sergio, I think, made the point that, we might develop a foundation with language, we might develop a framework that we build on, but experience will help us to show our passion about our subjects. Experience will help us to be flexible and understand how to use these language points to communicate effectively. And humour's a really good example of things. I do things that go wrong completely. When I try to make a joke and you get that silence coming back at you.
I know.
All educators will have that. Yeah.
Can I just interrupt you? There was a lovely quote from Lewis saying, "There is no tone of voice or cute accent that can disguise a teacher's lack of enthusiasm in his or her own subject. I think that is absolutely priceless, don't you, Rob?
I do. And I'll add Donna Lynn's comment as well.
What was that?
It was language is to express, not impress.
Oh, nice
and
one.
I was very impressed by your expression, so thank you.
As am I.
Yes. Okay. Sorry,
anyway, over to me. I think I'd like to talk just for a few minutes about the intention behind this course, which is to try and bring together disparate people all over the world who perhaps feel a little bit isolated in their EMI situations. Now, I was reminded of this by a quote from Sonia. Hello, Sonia. Linguistic solitude is not possible. I thought that was lovely. And then Damon asked the question, oh gosh, I think I need my glasses for this, sorry. Have English language teaching colleagues played a role in the delivery of EMI courses, and has the wider administration supported the initiative? So this, between them, they sort of reinforced the intention behind this course, that people have to come together with EMI because it is new. Either perhaps you need to talk to English language teaching colleagues in your university and perhaps try and get them on board to help you. You need to talk to the administration of your university so that they really understand the challenges that you're facing. And then perhaps locally in your university or locally in your town, your country, or through our course, you know, can we come together more to mutually support one another? Between you, you have all the answers, or you're on the way to getting all the answers. So if we can exchange some of that information, you know, we'll be really on the way to achieving the purpose of this course. So please just keep doing what you're doing at the moment. It's wonderful. I'm really enthused and really humbled by some of the contributions that have already been made.
And I'll second that as well, just to say,
do.
I'm really, really impressed and very grateful to people who've been really involved in these discussions and are really supportive of each other. And you're taking some of our questions and some of our activities are designed to get you discussing, to have a very general point and have you go deeper and think about and support each other in these areas, whether it be words you might use or whole approaches you might take. And you're doing a really good job, so thank you very much. You make our job much easier.
Yes,
definitely.
Absolutely.
So thank you.
Yeah, we've had fantastic contributions, but I was particularly impressed with the long list of links to online lectures and presentations that we can all look at and all profit from. And once again, you know, you had different things to say about them, as Rob commented on earlier. And some of the practical tips that are coming through, such as, although we don't really like it, actually recording ourselves lecturing. We can gain so much by recording ourselves and looking at the recording in the privacy of our own office or home, but we can really benefit from it. I don't like it. I don't like looking at myself on this course, but I do know that it's really helpful and useful. So please try and be brave and do it if you haven't already.
Yes.
What else would you like to say?
Again, we've covered most things that I wanted to say. The other thing was just a brief, something that came up about use of language. So we've got some people discussing English as a lingua franca. And just to make the point that, as has rightly been expressed, you know, is EMI the same as English as a lingua franca? Are we looking at English as a lingua franca exclusively? And I'd just like to say that EMI is looking at language use. So it's looking at how we use English to communicate. English as a lingua franca does this, but so has studies in social studies, studies in linguistics for hundreds of years. And, you know, philosophy goes back to discussions of what academic language looks like, what it should be, what it could be, and what it is. So just to say that, yeah, ELF is an important area, obviously, because we're dealing with intercultural communication through English, but we can draw on wide resources to look at this. So we're looking more at language practices, and again, recognising the social constraints and social sort of motivations we have when we use language in these settings. So yeah, I just wanted to clarify that, and yeah, I think that's my Just one thing I wanted to clear up, because that's been a question that's come up. So, yeah.
All I can say now is please continue to make your contributions. Those of you who've only recently joined the course, please don't feel it's too late. I've got things here I've noted from Musa, Olga, Alexander, Patrick, Christina, so many different people. I'd love to be able to talk to you individually and just say thank you on a more personal note for making these contributions. They really, really are absolutely fascinating.
And more people too.
And more people too. More people too. Okay. So I hope to see you next week, and good luck with your course, and bye-bye for now. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.